And I am live. You can definitely see the difference in my face from now. In my previous videos, you can just see it. That's why I want to go live. I'm like, oh my geez, look how big my face was. But I am on here today. I'm on hold, so you might hear that in the background. But I am on here today just to talk about my rough journey in this state that I am in. Hi, hi, hi. It is so many different parts to this government, to this system, um, the district, the laws, the implementation of federal laws. Like everything is just every which way and everywhere. I don't understand. Um, but I am having the roughest time with trying to get my kids the most appropriate services. And I am starting to see how people were fighting the system for these educational services now. Like, it's unfortunate that as a parent, if you have to work full time to pay for bills, which that's normal life, right? If you have to work full time to take care of bills, normally those hours are going to be, especially if you're a single parent, those hours are going to be when your child is at school. So the school is supposed to be providing your child with the best appropriate education possible, vape, if you want to say FAPE, especially if you have special needs kids like I do. I have four special needs children. So I am definitely fighting a lot for different things. Um, I wouldn't say I understand law in the most extensive way. Of course, I'm not a lawyer. Nothing I say is legal advice. But I have very much gained a lot of knowledge and system navigating on this journey. So I know I've learned quite a few things and different things I did not know of. So let me just put this out here. If you are a resident in Arizona at all, it is very important to know if you have special needs children because I was not aware of this. And it happened for years. If you have children who happen to go to daycare or childcare, uh, public or charter as well, if they offer like pre-K services, um, if, however, they are under the regulation of the health department of Arizona, and which 9 times out of 10 they are because they have to be regulated by the state, right? So if they're regulated under that health department, they are supposed to, per the policy of the health department anyway, they are supposed to implement a individualized plan. Sorry, an individualized plan for your child, especially if they're not potty trained and they have special needs, right? So I'm still trying to gain clarification because the health department doesn't tell me these things. Somehow or another, they're telling the businesses these things. But I was told from the health department that your child is not supposed to. If you have a 5-year-old that's not potty trained due to their special needs, or 4-year-old, let's say, because five they're in kindergarten, but whatever. Let's just say four. You have a 4-year-old not potty trained, and they're trying to enroll in the preschool. The preschool had, and this is let me stop right there for a second. This is where I was having the trouble because I would call the schools. I need to get some lights. Those lights are not even bright anymore. Um, they would not call the school. Sorry, I would call the school, ask if they had availability, ask the tour, all these type of questions, registration fees, all this stuff, right? When I get there and pronounce my son's needs, because a lot of places don't even ask you right off the bat, like if your son's potty trained or if your child's potty trained or not, they'll wait, or some won't even ask. Um, However, I learned to stop giving that information. So I would just ask random questions as a normal parent would. And once I get there, they would ask his age or my son's age. I would say, he's this age. He's not potty trained. It would go from them not having availability anymore because he needs to be placed in a smaller or a younger classroom. So if he was 4, he would need to go in with the twos because we have a changing table with the twos. However, that is not the case per what the health department informed me. They do not have to be placed in a younger classroom to assess the facility. They can go in their regular age class, but that the reason the businesses are doing that, from what I've gathered information on a lot of businesses here or childcare facilities, they would have to have a person that will leave the class to take the child to the restroom, or they would have to basically they if it's one teacher they have to a ratio, I think it's 13 kids. If they have one teacher to 13 kids and they don't have an assistant or they don't have anyone else, that teacher would have to take that child to the restroom, which leaves the other kids unattended, of course, when they can just all go to the bathroom. But hey, or they could just hire someone else, you know? But that's kind of where that is as far as the business side. They don't want to hire extra people or give that burden. They don't want to put that burden on their business, basically. So they tell you that your child has to go in a younger classroom. That's not true. Um, Also, they would recently, this has just been recently actually, because my older kids, I wasn't aware. I just went on about my life. Okay, they don't want to set them. I didn't know anything. I am just now coming into the light as God has brought me out and saved me 2 years ago now. He has opened up all these doors, showing me all these different things that have been discrimination and improperly followed this whole time. Okay, so I'm still learning, but I am glad to be the guinea pig because then I can give that information to the world. This will be here for who it needs to reach, and I'm happy with it. So, recently, my son has had issues with his IEP. So child care centers have been asking for his IEP to see if they can accommodate him. IEP has nothing to do with child care. IEP for a preschooler, we'll get to kindergarten up, but preschool, Arizona does not mandate preschool, so they try to go through different routes of discrimination under the law here, and that's another thing I don't like. But preschool, you do not have to give them an IEP for your child to attend. That is a lie. Their IEP is for special education direction, far as related services, OT, PT, all that type of stuff, right? Under IDEA, IDEA, IDEA is the federal government regulation for special needs children in educational matters. Which I'm still, if anyone has any type of information on that, please help me because the way the law's working out here and what the federal law is supposed to be is kind of like they contradict each other. So I'm a little confused with it and I'm still fighting departments about that, but whatever. Um, so anyways, your IEP does not need to be given for your child. You don't even have to bring up the fact they have an IEP for them to be enrolled. If they're not potty trained or they have special needs of any nature, your PCP, your doctor, your child's doctor can simply write a letter saying, hey, this is this and that is that. Um, this child is not potty trained. That's the step we're at. We're working on getting him developmentally tested. Whatever your doctor wants to put on there, they don't even have to go into details about it if you really want to be honest. They just say, hey, this child is not potty trained. We're giving you a note to excuse this instance, or however you want to say. So yes, you can simply get a note, and they're in the child care facility, whether it be in child care, daycare, preschool, um, public or charter schools that are offering these services for this age of children of preschool in Arizona. They are to make an individualized plan per the health department's policy to accept your child. So my thing is, I will end up, I will confirm before going availability, prices, all these things before even going or before them even being aware of my son's situation. Ooh, my hair. Sorry. I need to do my hair. I really do. Um, and then after being informed of this information of his disability or however you would like to say his incontinence, whatever, they will all of a sudden have a waiting list because they want to put him in a different classroom setting. So we have a waiting list in our twos or we have a waiting list in our threes. Um, and they would want to add on all these extra. Oh, the registration fee is $200. The registration fee is $300, or you have to pay a registration fee before being on the wait list for our program. They would start doing all these discriminating things because of the fact they don't want to have my child there and have the burden of dealing with the extra the extra money that has to be spent or time or training or whatever it is. per the health department, they're supposed to get this anyway. So it's illegal. Don't believe it. Don't allow your child to just be discriminated against. Please, by all means, report it to DES. If you have DES payments, co-payments, anything like that, if you qualify for DES, please report it. Please report it. Please report it. If you have DDD is a whole nother subject. Don't get me started on that one. But please report it to the health department. File a complaint if it gets to the point. I do it anyway because I want to make the state aware of what's going on. Please report it to the attorney general's office. If you've tried before the attorney general, report it to the BBB, the health department, and DES. Okay, the BBB is like a consumer complaint as well that handles ratings of the businesses. I mean, the BBB will have a lot of complaints. Like you will see red flags pop up on the business on their website, but somehow or another, the business still has not been flagged or stopped or anything. So the BBB, I don't really understand their position on what they're supposed to be helping in Arizona, but however, file that report, file that complaint, file the complaint with DES, file the complaint with the health department. You can follow up on the health departments as well. There's a I forgot the term, but there's a website that you go to after filing it that you can, which is still kind of the same area where you file it. You go to this other link and it'll show you what happened. However, I don't ever see anything from Arizona's health department about um what's the term? So like when they do their investigations yearly, you'll see like, oh, we found this, this, and this, and this. The rules they broke or the regulations they seen that weren't in place. They'll say, oh, we seen these. However, when I see that there's a complaint made, especially on the main place I file a complaint on, I won't see the results of that investigation. I will see minimum detail about anything. It's like a generic name of something and investigation completed. That's all you will see. You don't see any details about anything as far as when there's an actual physical complaint from the outside. Only time you see anything is when they're doing their yearly investigations to make sure they're in compliance. That's the only time you see something. Okay, so let's just keep that in mind as well. The attorney general, like I said, there was a few instances like they're supposed to implement Arizona laws. If there's a company that's doing business in Arizona or a company that is a business in Arizona that are violating these laws, they are, however, supposed to implement state persecution. Okay, they're supposed to sue these people or what have you. It's the attorney general is the state's attorney. Is supposed to take action against people who are being reported for things. Don't quote me on why they don't halfway do it. I don't know. Um, yeah, I mean, this video has to be up because when something does happen, or for whatever reason, I end up persecuted or I end up some other reason for another, just know I'm the person who complains to the governor. I'm the person who complains to the attorney general. I'm the person that complains to the federal government. I am the person that writes the president. I am the person that writes the civil rights units. I am the person that writes the U.S. Department of Education. I write Arizona Department of Education. I file state complaints. Like I am that person. Since I have seen all that I have seen, and for years no one has been this way, and now I'm just now knowing, I am definitely filing complaints any which way I can for whatever reason that is there that should not be. So that's that. But yes, if you file with the attorney general, you know, consumer complaints are definitely important because the more that are gathered on a place, the more evidence they have of, okay, we've had, I don't know what the number is when they get to it, but just throwing it out there example. When we get to 50 people on this one specific business of all these different items, and there's probably like 20 of those that are kind of matching the same complaint, then we need to take action against this place. So I don't know exactly what those terms or agreements are for that to happen. However, I know that you filing a consumer complaint or civil rights complaint does help that process along. So always do it. No matter if it's a minor little daycare that has 2 rooms, if they discriminate against you, if they tell you something that's not right, if they your child does not have to be walking. If you That's a whole nother thing. Sorry, I have so much I could say at one time. It is ridiculous. But your child does not have to be walking either. If your child is 2 and not walking in the daycare, oh well, we can't put them in the one's room or the infant room. If they're not walking, we just have to kind of, it's discrimination. If your child has a disability, which 9 times out of 10, like I just wrote about this place that discriminated against my son about 2 years ago, I wasn't aware at the time and I brought it to the attention now. They told me that my son wasn't able to start because he was not walking at 2. And if you're in childcare, you're prone to know the laws and legalities around everything in childcare. You're supposed to know about child development. You're supposed to be trained in all these things, right? So to know that a child is not walking at 2 years old, to know that a child is not walking at 2 years old, you know that there's a child development issue. And to act like you don't is discrimination, because you know if a child is not walking by 2 years old, they either have a physical disability that's causing it or they have a developmental disability that's causing it. It's no in between. If a child is not walking by 2, they're either paralyzed, which is a physical, they're either injured, which is a physical, or they're developmentally behind, which means their body is not able to do it yet. So, whichever one, however, which way you want to quote or play it, it's discrimination. And don't allow these businesses to do it, because this is why it's still a problem. And I'm probably looking like the crazy one out here. I'm probably looking like I have just lost my mind because I'm going every which way about everything. And yes, I am, because it's a very much big problem here. And you know the crazy part is these attorneys, I don't know if it's because the state um regulates them or they're licensed to practice or whatever. I don't know what it is, but it's like these attorneys out here are scared to go against Arizona. They're scared. I don't know why you guys don't just go practice in another state and get your license there in case you do get disbarred or whatever here for whatever reason. But if to be in law and to know that these things are happening and you don't want to take no action, you need to be disbarred, because you're not really fighting for justice. You're out here just trying to make money, which, hey, that's the world we live in. Unfortunately, this is a devil's playground. It's not where it was. But God's gonna come take his world back. You best believe it. This will be heaven on earth soon enough. But with that being said, those are discriminations. That's definitely something I want to point out. Please, 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 please report these incidents. Please report them. If I could go back to when my oldest was younger and do this for 12 years, it probably would have made more sense. But the fact that I'm just now knowing about it, I know I'm looking crazy to the state from everything I'm complaining about, but I have the proof. And try to email. That's another thing. Please try to email. Keep all communication in writing, because writing it leaves. Okay, I'm number 8. It does not leave. Sorry, it does not leave an opening of what's the word? Accountability. It does not leave an opening for accountability. So they can't say they didn't know, or we didn't know this child had this, or we didn't know that this. Keep it in writing. Record if you want to. It's a free state. Not a free state. Let me not lie. It's a free country, and you can record if you want to. There's no HIPAA violations being, just depending on where you are and what you're doing. No video, simple voice recording. Don't agree to it. That's fine. You're talking to me. We're having a conversation. We're engaging with each other. I am free to record whatever I want. Anyways, don't quote me. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a lawyer. Do not quote me on that. I am just saying specifically for me. That's what I do. What else? Let me turn this up. I'm on my chest. What else? Yes. So that's the main part, because I don't know if it's federal law or if it's just the state I'm in, but I have seen a lot of discrimination against disabilities here specifically, and I do not like it. And I would go online, or I would sign up for different events or videos and things of that nature, and people would have similar type of issues going on, but it's like, why are you not complaining about it? Why are you not standing up doing something about it? And legislation, oh, don't even get me started. So I wrote legislation for where I'm at, this particular city I'm in, the district, whatever you want to say. I wrote legislation probably about 3 or 4 times and never got a response back. Not once. Not once. So, and that's another thing I don't understand that I can't really seem to get figured out is why there there's like state legislation, and then there's like city legislation, and then there's like county. And I'm like, how the heck or why is this way? Like, I don't understand it. And I definitely need help. If anybody would like to help me, please. 20 minutes? I've been on here 20 minutes. Okay, that's not bad. I'm about to get off because I need a rest. But I need to say this because when this is needed to be seen, it will be seen. And you guys just remember what I said. I like the fact that I'm sorry, I'm checking my phone. I like the fact that I am being a billy goat. That's what I call it. I don't mind being a billy goat because I would most definitely like to get this information now before my children possibly grow up not knowing a lot. Because there's a few videos on YouTube like I would love to make a response to that. Like I think it's Don Rich, Marcus Rogers, of course, other people, Nick Jones that I watched. That I would love to just like respond to on their videos that they did to like reactions of other people video. Um, but yeah, I have so much I could say, but this particular I just wanted to, bring this situation to life because there's a lot that's going on that's just not right, man. And I don't know if it's every state. That's the beauty about being on the internet. And I feel like I'm making such a ruckus with my complaining that I am being blocked to complain. Like my internet's certainly not working, or suddenly not working. I mean, or I would try to send an email to a place or like when you go on a contact form online, simply a contact form. Oh, I'm so and so. I'm submitting this. Blah, blah. I'll go to put submit, and it'll say, "Oh, error, error." Whether the message says error or not, it'll say error. You know, I have done that the last few days, and I'm like, how can I not write these people now? Why is it coming back in the error? Even emails we're getting returned saying that you've been blocked from state agencies. You've been blocked. You can't send this. It's violating some policy they have or something they have. Firewall. I don't know what it was. It was something on the email saying I'm blocked. And I was like, So I don't find it coincidental that all these agencies have done this. All these contact forms online have done this to other federal agencies and other agencies and other agencies. Um, I'm making a ruckus, and I'm not trying to do it in a negative manner, and I'm not trying to bring. I know we're dealing with a lot as a country, and I know every person in every title that they're in has something to deal with every day, and then still go home and take care of their kids and their family. I understand it. I definitely do, and I hate the way this world operates and how they are. Unfortunately, I cannot just sit here and not say anything. Like I just can't sit here and know that this has been happening or these things have been taking place and not say anything or do anything about it. Um, and that's what brings me back to these lawyers. Like I just don't understand how you could sit here be a civil rights attorney or personal attorney or whatever, what have you, like study all these different areas, but then not want to represent or handle a situation of the matter of such. Like, if that's not discrimination, I don't know what is. Um, Once again, I did leave out OCR. The Office of Civil Rights, every state should have one, if I'm not mistaken, or some states might share certain ones. I don't know, but if you go to OCR, there's like a main page that you could file a complaint on, and then they'll actually send it to your state's complaint. Like I think ours is in Maryland or Iowa or somewhere. I don't know. I don't remember, but it's not in Arizona, Denver, I think. But That's where our complaints would go for our state. But however, the main website, you just submit it and they will do that for you after. And then if they investigate, you would get something from them from your state's particular agency. Um, the ombudsman, I don't know if every state has one. I'm sure they would. But ombudsman, OMBUDS, man, will are supposed to investigate any complaint you have on any agency, and they do have it on the website. If you just type ombudsman in your state, it should have it on the website to where what agencies they do have jurisdiction over to gather matters about. Um, Once again, that entity, I don't know, they have like three different steps because I'm like, what exactly do you guys do? So it's like a dispute resolution type of thing. But once again, depending on your state, depending on who's running the states and what laws are in place, that could be a good resource to report to as well. Um, but yes, please don't. Office of Civil Rights, definitely do it, no matter if it's a child care, a school, whichever. Just please file, please file it. So yeah, that's what I want to say. I'm gonna get off because I've been on here almost 30 minutes. I'm a little tired. I'm a little tired. And my edges are just sticking out and I hate it. I gotta go put them down. I'm sorry. But I definitely want to get on here because I was like, dang, even though like I'm still kind of chunky, like you could definitely just see like it's a little different. It's a little different, it's a little different. There, let me sit up. And the way the camera's pointing. No, I'm just playing. But seriously, um, that's that. Please don't let them discriminate against your kids. I would like this video to be up for my children. If anything happens to me, it's on here. If YouTube takes it off, go figure. But I just want to post this on here. Please, if you see this, take heed to it. Please do it. Don't let it just roll through the tip of your fingers like, oh, I'm just gonna ignore it, or I ain't got time to file. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't be that person. Allow justice to be taken where it should be and file that. So continuing on, our kids may not have to deal with that. It won't make a change unless we do something about it, right? So like just please do that. Please file these complaints. Please post Google reviews. Please any information, sorry, last thing and I will be off. Anything you get regarding any situation, please post it. People like to go to Google, but that's it. They just put a review on them and be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. No, put that review and also put other information like, hey, go report this to the BBB, or hey, go report this to the Attorney General. Hey, give the information in your complaint of what to do when you're putting that complaint up there. Otherwise, it's going to be a circle of people doing the same thing, getting taken advantage of, getting discriminated against, all this stuff. So please put that whenever you're reviewing someone, whenever you're 6. I'm still on 6. It's 30 minutes later. I'm number 6 in the queue on my phone still. Anyways, I was 8. Now I'm 6. But yeah. Please do that. If whenever you're writing a review, whenever you're putting any type of compliment, whatever it is, just please remember to put information for other people on there. I'll try my best to do that every single time. I came into light of new information about a different program out here, which I'm going to get on and do another day because I'm definitely going to address that on this internet. But take pictures. If you find policies or any type of screenshots of anything that you see other people are having the same issue with, just upload those pictures when you put your comments as well, because then that will also show other people where they can see that information, right? So I went through a whole 800-page policy the other day, and I'm like, I screenshotted probably about 30, 40 pages. I go upload them on Google Maps. On that agency's website, I posted all those pictures, posted my reviews, said, hey, this is what you need to do. This is where you need to go and look at these policies. Here it is. So do that because it helps people at the end of the day. Some people only know about Google, so please put those other resources in your complaint so people can see it, so people can know to do it. The world is every day evolving. So there's new information and outputted information as well that's not always intertwined to know about or have knowledge in. So please do that. Please take heed to that. I am about to get off. I appreciate your time. I hope this reaches whoever it needs to reach to in Jesus' name. Amen. I haven't been on here to talk about my God, but I will be back to do that as well. But I definitely need to get back into learning to get on here and express different things. That way I can get what God will want me to say to the world out, because it will eventually reach who it needs to reach. Amen. So thank you. Nice talking. It was a long chat. I will be back.